Hey, Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to FMATalk Chronicles. I'm your host, Pastor Tim, and this is my co-host.
PG Ty.
And this is the second episode in my room, trying to get things worked out, working on doing things from home. So I don't have to rush and all this other stuff to get places, although it was a rush to get here, but that's okay. I had a few weeks off, and it's definitely thrown me out of my thing. And Rich Parson says, "Hello, guys."
Hey, Mr. Rich, how you doing?
Always good to hear from our brother from another mother. And I'm going to put that going on there. There we go. So please, everybody, tell us, okay, because we don't know how you're watching. You could be Facebook, you could be YouTube or whatever. Tell us, give us a shout out and tell us where you're coming from. Here's a West Coaster, Eric. How you doing, Eric?
There you go. Good deal.
Eric is going to be on our show in this new year, and got a lot of things planned. So new season number 2, episode 1, and we got a new intro, we got new music, we got a new look, we got a new attitude. Well, I don't know how much new is the attitude. It just sounded good when I was putting it all together. So, and I'm going to be watching I've got Facebook Messenger open here. I've got my phones on the other side here. And if anyone has anything to say, just give us a holler so we can make sure. Oh, okay, that's nothing we're talking about. We don't miss anything. Sometimes we get caught up, and we go from there. Let me see here. And of course, that goes right there. All right. I've got some cool news when we do our February event, the Triple Threat Seminar in. Is it Midland? Midtown?
Middletown or something?
Middletown. It's Cromwell Martial Arts, which used to be in Cromwell, but now it's in Middletown. So it throws us off just a wee bit there. But Dean Franco, who just hollered in, Dean from Connecticut will be there attending, and he said he's going to do post-event interviews. We're looking forward to seeing Dean there. And the month afterwards, he's coming to Buffalo to be part of the Can-Am Summit.
Excellent.
And Rich, yep, we know we're watching, Facebook watching. And then we have Jeremy. Good evening, gentlemen. I can't stay. I'm on break from work. Catch you the rest at midnight. Who knows? We might be still talking at midnight. Actually, we're always talking at midnight.
Hopefully not.
Oh, when I say where you're coming from, do not. I don't care if it's Facebook or YouTube. Tell us what part of the world or country.
Yep.
FMA discussion, baby, in the house. And we're working on a New Year episode. I've got confirmed. We just have to get the date. Everyone wants to do it. It's all going to be dependent on what everyone's schedule is. So we've got Dean Frank. We're talking about people who are doing social media videos. That's the platform. So we've got Dean Franco from FMA Discussion. We got the Paul and June show. Both Paul and June are supposed. Well, I'm not sure if one or both of them are going to be there. We've got Paulo Rubio from the FMA Dumpster Fire. And we've got Jesse and his partner going to be on for FMA Pulse.
Yep.
And Portland, Oregon is in the house.
That'll be good. A bunch of characters, it sounds like.
Yeah, and we're probably the biggest ones in there. Well,
not me. I'm demure.
The biggest, but so we've prepared for this show for a while, but there's a lot of extra stuff I wanted to prepare for, and it didn't happen. So I want to talk about a couple things first before we get into anything. So upcoming events, one of which is at the end of the month, will be the Southeast U.S. Modern Arnis Camp.
That's right. Back in Florida.
That's good. I'll be down in Jacksonville, Florida. Actually, I'm going to be doing a little Goodwill tour while I'm down there. I'm just looking at, It stinks when I don't get stuff done ahead of time, and I have to wear my readers. Let me see what I have set up here. Emergent series, Edge. Nope. Oh well. So I will be visiting Orlando Eskrima. That's part of my tour. I will be there. I mean, I'll just put my calendar up, my regular calendar. So I'll be visiting those guys on the 27th, Thursday, the 27th, stopping into one of their classes. And I'm talking with them. I'll probably be doing some teaching while I'm there. So it's not a seminar. It's just visiting. I don't know what their policy is, training-wise, if they have an open door. But if anyone's interested in on meeting up, let me know because I'll be in Orlando. I'm getting there on Wednesday, the 29th. I'll be staying through the 30th and driving up, or the 20th. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Getting there the 26th, doing the class the 27th. I'll be meeting with some other people here and there. Driving up to Jacksonville first thing in the morning on the 21st. And then the 21st through the 23rd is the camp. And then, of course, Renee says, Happy New Year.
All right.
TNT. We're dynamite, baby. And then good day from down under. Steve, how you doing, sir? Western Australia is in the house.
Excellent.
We're Central Coast, North, Southwestern Australia.
New South Wales.
New South Wales. Oh, okay. Well, good thing I don't know this thing. I know Sydney, and I have a friend in Perth.
Yep.
And then Dean says he's looking forward to it. Larry says, good evening, gentlemen. Steve is from Portland as well.
Oh, nice. Excellent.
Hey, Steve, do you train or do you do martial arts? Do you know our friend Eric? Obviously, you do martial arts because you wouldn't be watching our show otherwise. Unless people like watching the train wreck that we have here.
That could be.
When's your seminar? We have to do those lists and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got a sort of a mini kind of goodwill tour in Texas around the same time.
Yeah,
right?
I don't have that.
Oh, nice. See a lot. Steve does. Yeah, I'm there in Texas, 2 weeks, starting the 26th or 27th of January, and I come back the 14th. So I'll be in all the way from Houston and Lufkin and Plano, Bryan.
Okay, let me see. Let's see if I can do my magic here. And cut out anything that somebody else would have posted. You know, our favorite friend, PG Chad, has a tendency of posting things that he shouldn't be.
He's sharing colorful things.
People tell me that I'm controversial. They don't know the half of it. Okay, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm going to take the brand down here. You know, I do what I can. Okay, so let me see here. Chinese New Year. Well, here, why don't you go through the list here? What do we got?
Yeah, so I'm at my Kung Fu teacher's school and doing all sorts of things there for a week almost, January 28th through February 2nd. And then I head up to Lufkin and Plano for Saturday and Sunday, the 5th and 6th. Then I go visit my top student in Texas in Stephenville. And then I head down to the yearly elite retreat with our good friend Hanshi Montoya.
Do we know if somebody's showing up to that?
I do not know about that.
Okay. We'll just leave it at that.
Yep. And then this is a slightly older one, so it says Cromwell, but it meant Middletown.
Middletown, right?
February 26th.
All right. So, and then, of course, this is your whole year. We'll get more into that as we go.
Yep.
Looking forward to April when we're all down at the are you not going to the academy?
Oh, did I not? Oh, it's on there. April 5th through 7th.
Oh, right up there, yeah. Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, the March stuff isn't on there. So
Yeah. Okay. So stop sharing. Actually, that's not a bad look, but that's better for what we're doing here. So we just did our New Year immersion sessions yesterday.
That was good, and I heard some positive feedback from some attendees as well.
I had some Europeans that attended, and I got some really good feedback saying that some of the stuff they've been exposed to before, something similar, but they really enjoyed the progressions and how the structure was. So I actually makes me feel good because, I mean, that's what I'm trying to really focus on. I mean, when I came up, it was all about me because I was worrying about developing myself as a martial artist. And now I've transitioned into a teacher. So it's more about how I can become a better teacher for my students. And hearing that stuff, it's always nice to hear that. I know what I think I'm doing right, but it's nice to get that feedback, positive and negative for that matter.
Yep.
So what's a show without me talking about a rant? So I'm going to start off with my rant, and then, but before we go with that, first of all, I want to thank our sponsors, the Modern East University, as well as Vulpes Blades. And if you are watching us on YouTube, please make sure that you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and please share this wherever you feel is appropriate. And here we go. It was a good session until I had to tap out. Go drill steel. Okay, yeah. On my eye again. Okay. All right. Well, whatever. Whatever floats your boat there.
Everybody's got to have hobbies.
Yeah. My hobby is more. Oh, and Bill from Guam.
Oh,
Bill.
Excellent. Good deal.
Oh, I love it when Bill's on. And Bill, we got to schedule you this year. We gotta make this good because So my and then of course the feature event is going to be the reunion or the anniversary camp. Okay. And got a bit of bad news about that. Grandmaster Rick Mangalanong is not going to be part of the event. He had he had a family crisis they had to deal with, and over the holidays, and unfortunately, he will be in the Philippines to take care of some family business and deal with stuff over there that there's no way around it. So he just told me this today. I told him, listen, if something changes, there's an open door policy. You're welcome to be here. We'd love to have perks for the career. And I'd love to have you be part of it. Unfortunately, it's just not it's not going to happen. But the silver lining in this, if there is such a thing, is that the instructors teaching will have a little bigger time. And one of the things I was going to do is some of the first gen instructors who show up to attend the event, I want to give them time to teach on the floor. So it just gives me more time to do that. So I really want Rick to be there. I really do. And hopefully something with a greater power might change that. Although with what he's dealing with, I doubt that's going to happen.
Be tough, particularly traveling back there and back and all that time.
Yeah, well, if he's got other people's schedules he's dealing with, so in case they change their schedule, who knows? Hey, is that better lighting?
That's a little darker.
Is that better though?
Yeah, I don't know.
It seems more shadowy.
I'm the wrong person to ask.
Okay, all right. And Robert Guida, evening. Another person I want to get on the show.
There we go.
Because as a person who's doing Kempo Karate, adding our niece to it, I'd like to get a perspective from him. He's one of my students during the day. And Rob, I messaged you today saying I will be at the tournament. But Ty and I will be teaching at the Virginia Police Academy that week, so I don't know what condition I'm going to be in by the time I get home. The course is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I'm driving home all day Friday, and then Saturday's the tournament. But I will be there, brother. The red light district. I resemble that remark at the moment.
There you go.
But let me see what I can do about that. So let's just talk about my rant real quick. I've got a couple rants planned for the future because there's just things I like talking about. Okay, is that better? Hey, what do we think? Do we like the red? Do we prefer the green?
They could just put it in the comments and we'll just change color.
Yeah, tell me what color you want. I'm going to see what. I'm going to put blue for a little bit here.
There you go.
The red light disagree, Rob. Okay. Okay, my eye. Okay.
Oh, he says the Philippines are on the verge of lockdown. Most of central Manila are locked down, and most of Luzon is level 3, and level 4 is being considered from Manila. So yeah, it's going to be tough.
I don't have a pink. Can I make? Oh, I can make a pink.
You might be able to make a pink. Oh, and we have Texas in the house too. You see that between Robert's posts?
I can't do plaid, brother. I wish I could. Is that your new face? A bag? Oh, nice. The mascot. Rich is. Oh, sweet. Yes, Mr. Sweeney. I did see that. I'm sorry I didn't click on it.
Love you, man.
Rich likes. We're gonna go purple for a little bit.
There you go.
And
Mr. Frank.
Oh, there we go. Almost pink. Frank Shakowski. Okay. Hey, Frank. Dean, who's on the show tonight, said that we're going to look at doing the interview post-show because he wants to get an idea how we teach and stuff and then go from there. So even if I did clear it with him, even if we go out to dinner afterwards, he's okay to come back to the school and do the interviews after that. So we had a really good conversation today about a bunch of things. So, and then Steve, it should alternate colors. You know, and I might be able to make that happen too. But it is what it is. Oh, I got a color wheel. I can do the color wheel.
There you go. So you got to keep Steve happy.
You know, it's hard to make pink. That'll be the thing. Okay, and Frank says cool. Very good. Okay, so here's my rant today. Oh, and Steve gave me a smiley. And then what did Rob say? Let me know when I'll be happy to participate.
When to come on.
Oh, the show.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Rob.
You know that thing that we sometimes do.
Oh, and listen, before I do my rant, we got to say hello to family. Look who's in the house.
Maybe, yep, exactly.
Our cup of tea. Hey, ¿cómo está acá? Happy New Year to you as well. And tell Tito Berto we said hello. And Ty, that's a frame. Okay.
Oh.
What's in the frame behind you? Right up there?
Right, the logos and then the bulls.
Show them. Can you grab it?
I can grab it. I think. I don't know.
Okay, so in the World Modern East Alliance, this is our logo in the center. The left is the bull patch that symbolizes the Carabao for us. There's the gray is for black belts or color belts, and the red is for black belts. And listen, because you're our friend, and I know you have the Toro clan up north, I would be more than happy to give you one of our patches the next time I see you. Because he's the Toro clan of the Dog Brothers. Let me drop my acid. So, Renee Coco, that would be a monitor. Yeah, okay. All right. So, okay. So let me talk about, yes, sweet. You're welcome, brother. I'll get you hooked up the next time I'm up there. Actually, I always have them in my stick bags, both of them. So, all right. So my rant. Stealing Marshal Valor. Now, but it's a little different. People are going to think, we know the one we talk about all the time. Someone has fake credentials. But there's another one, and maybe this isn't the appropriate comment, the word, but to me it seems like a stealing valor. It's trying to undermine someone and put the attention on you for someone else's accomplishments. So what really annoys the hell out of me, I think it's a really douchey move. So, and this has happened to me on, the Paper Tigers, but this is a little different one. So, I'll use a couple examples. So, July is multiple anniversaries for me. Most of my Modern East black belts were promoted in July. Most of my personal promotions were done in July because we would do it at the Michigan State Summer Camp. So my very first black belt promotion was in 1988. My very last promotion was done in 2000. I got my Lacan there. I've got a pot there. I think my Delawa there. My Anim, my 6, and my Datu. So every now and then, that I kind of, when it's my anniversary, I like posting my diploma up. This is when I got my black belt, or I choose one. It's also the year I started doing Balintawak. It's also or month I started doing Balintawak. It's also the month that Ted Boyd passed away, my Balintawak instructor. There's a lot of bittersweet things going on there, and so I will. And it's usually the same person, but a couple of people have done this. Where I've seen this through the years as well. I will put up my belt diploma. How you doing, May? And lo and behold, a day later, somebody else in the industry, in our art, puts up all their black belt diplomas that predate mine. Go figure. I was cleaning out my office during COVID, and I came across my yellow belt diploma. So look what I put it up there. And of course, somebody goes, oh, that's funny. I was a 5th degree black belt at that time. And then I'm like, well, if you're a 5th degree black belt, how come you're not better? But hey, what do I know? What really annoys me, and there's another aspect of this too, is if you don't have something, if someone's promotion, someone's talking about an anniversary or something like that, why do we have to make it about ourselves when it's about somebody else? And maybe stealing valor is not the term, but whatever you want to call it, that it just annoys the hell out of me. The other one is trash talking stuff. So I got promoted I got my black belt in Lanada Kuntao. And I don't know if it was my black belt promotion or my color belt promotion. Someone started saying all these negative things on there. I'm like, why even bother with this and whatever. I got my black belt in Kuntao and Sikran at the same time because my teacher was teaching both. And, I didn't know I had other things I could do. There we go. And lo and behold, there was another Kuntao stylist out there, a notable one who's still with us. And he does Kuntao with an O, where I do Kuntao with a W. And I think there's a little rift there. But he did something very classy. When it came time, when I put up the thing, I got my black belt in Kuntao and in Sikran. Well, he didn't say a word about Kuntao, but he congratulated me on my Sikran promotion. And I thought that was cool. Because maybe he didn't agree with the style of Kuntao I do. Maybe he doesn't acknowledge the style of Kuntao that I do. Don't know, don't care. Didn't trash talk me. He said, hey, congratulations on becoming a Sikran black belt. And my mind said, like, there's a bunch of things. I've seen some promotions out there. So-and-so gets promoted from another art organization. And I'm like, whatever. And, and I'll be the first that I don't necessarily care for all the people that are doing things out there. Remember those days of that controversy? Yeah. That exactly. But we're not going to go down that path, Bill. But, I've seen some people get promoted. They're doing their damnedest. Who am I to say anything negative about what they're doing? Now, maybe in private, I might sit there and say, you might want to reconsider X, Y, and Z or stuff like that. But publicly, why would I do anything? And if the person went into all this effort to test, why would you trash talk their accomplishment? Like for myself, my the cool thing, when the person was talking about, I was a private student for 4 years before I got promoted to black belt. I busted my ass all the way up, monthly, going 4-hour round trip to Toronto, if not more, due to traffic, to do my training. What kind of hey, be quiet. Come here. My puppy's here. Tyr is just all like, you guys can't see him because he's going to be behind me. Plus he hops on the bed and then Janice will kill me. But, at the end of the day, someone, hey, get out of there. Someone does all this work. Who am I to trash talk what they're doing?
Well, and remember, right? Anybody's rank really only means anything within that style or within that school or within that, within the context that it was made in.
Yeah.
So
Like modern East, to me, I tell people, like I've had people who talk about what can I do in your organization? I go, you start from the beginning.
That should always be the assumption.
Well, here's the problem. I've seen in other arts, like Buffalo's a big Ishinru town, so I've seen it here. I've got a lot of Kempo friends and acquaintances. So I see someone leaving one organization of Kempo or Ishinru because they'll get rank faster. They'll get a promotion if they jump ship. And sometimes I've seen people jump ship 2 or 3 times to go up to fast track their belts. And I'm like, come on, stop this cliff diving bullshit. So
did it make them any better?
No.
Okay.
Put a bigger target on their back.
Well, maybe they got some exposure, so maybe there's a piece there.
Let me see. Here we go. Okay, what did Bill say? That was scheduled. That will be scheduled for my interview. Okay, then we're talking about. And then, holy poopers, all over Kempo. Hey, Rock, how you doing, man? Just do your thing.
Hey, Rock.
Hey, are you going to come on the show? Whether it be you or maybe you and Jeff Owens, or you got someone else you want on the show with you, or just do solo. I wouldn't mind doing like a Detroit or a Michigan crew. I don't want to say Detroit, because Detroit, it's a lot bigger than Detroit. A lot of people don't live in Detroit. It's like saying I'm Buffalo. I'm not in Buffalo, although West Seneca borders Buffalo, but it's just not the same. They became Grand Poobah.
GP.
Yeah, GP. Not to be confused with Jeepney, but that's another one. But
there you go.
I could be a 6th if I jumped around and Kempo could be. Yes. Matter of fact, hell, you could probably do that on a weekend. But okay. So I'm done with that. That was my little thing. It just annoys me when people either, when if it's you get promoted and then someone else they don't like the idea that the spotlight's on you. So what do? They say something to get it about them. I'm like, why not just let the person do them? Why don't you just wait for your thing and then take your time? Why, and that was funny. Yes, it was. Okay. So, today's topic, leaders and influencers. This is, I think this is going to be a fun one. Probably a very misunderstood one. Hopefully that's not what I want. So I'm going to talk about, okay, my mouse is not working the way I want it to. Will you come here? Oh my God, he's just driving me crazy. There we go. Leaders and influencers. Tier, you got to stop it. Hey, I'm on the show. Come here. Or go lay down. Yeah, I'm henpecked by my freaking 170-pound Rottweiler. All right. Oh, Mama's calling you. So, leaders versus influencers. Where are people? What are we talking about? All right. So, and I think people can have multiple roles, but we'll see. I call self-induced illusion of grandeur and tributes to their I love me when people jump from the school right now. That's cool. See, this used to be me. Now I'm doing the show, and I'm actually nicer than people give me credit for. But let's get into it. There's. I was talking to someone recently. I'm not going to say whom. Ty. No, it was somebody else. And we were talking about, like, Tim, I consider you one of the leaders of Modern East. And then I thought to myself, well, there's really not many leaders in Modern East. So who would you consider a leader? And I thought there's a whole bunch of influencers out there. But, what's, but I thought, you know what? Then I thought about Remy, what his role was. And it was many different things. And I think let's define leaders versus influencers, just the two. And let's think what people are. So first of all, a leader is someone who leads people. So I would assume they would need to have a following. Ty?
That makes sense. There's other aspects I think we could explore if we're going to use that. But anyway, go on.
I mean, to start, you would definitely need a following. You would have to have, I would say, to be a leader, you would need to have, schools beneath you. Well, I mean, let's explore that together here. So, what are we thinking? Okay, what are we thinking about? Like, okay, well, hold on multiple. This mouse does not like this computer.
I have no troubles running Linux.
Stop it. U.S. Army training. There's a formal and informal leaders. Yeah.
Sure. And leaders, different levels.
So okay. So one of the things I would think to be a leader, not a school. I mean, school. You can sit there and say, if you have a school, you know, if you're ahead of something, you would have some kind of leadership stuff there.
Sure.
But I also think that there needs to be maybe a certain number. You know, I mean, if we're talking about a leader, let's talk about this way: a leader in martial arts. I would assume there need to be a fair amount of, a certain number of schools that would be underneath a leader, right? Like you're a kung fu teacher. Do you consider him a leader?
In our branch of the trees, yeah. I wouldn't say style because there's several related styles, but I think
Right.
so.
Now, with your branch, how many schools or training groups are underneath him?
Not a whole lot, but there are several.
Okay, so he's bigger than just being the sifu of a school.
Right. And there's already, there's split offs even too, right? So that there's some attachment there, I think, too.
Okay. So, I mean, personally, I would think you'd want to have like 5 to 10 schools underneath you at a bare minimum to be a leader in an art, right? Or program.
I would think. I mean, so if I hear somebody saying leader in X, I would, and it is a thing with a lot of people or a lot of, there could be different locations. I would think multiples of all of those.
Yeah.
Multiples of some sort. And it would scale with whatever the interest was.
I mean, and actually, I wouldn't even say have the 5. I would say you'd probably have at least 3 to 5 schools. Even if you own a chain of schools, let's say someone owns Master Park, we know there's 40,000 of them. Actually, a Master Park just passed away up in Toronto, who's a big person in the martial art industry. But like you have Master Chung here in Buffalo, he has 6 schools. When he had 3 schools, I would have considered him a leader because he had multiple schools all reporting. He and his team were the leaders of that group. I mean, you could say who's the leader in your school, but if we're talking about a leader in the art, there needs to be a certain number of
yeah, for me, it sort of scales with like, so say if you're he's our leader, right? That would be, that would be the head of a school, right? Or it could be more, but that'd be at least. You could also say, hey, he's a leader in the martial arts community around Buffalo, right? And then you would probably more than one school.
Right.
You're a leader in the martial arts community around Buffalo. If you're a leader in the state, you might have more than one city, you would think. If you're a leader in the U.S., you might have schools in more than one state. That's just a thought that I would have.
Right. So using Remy as an example, because this is a modern artiste thing, Remy was a leader. He had a whole cadre of schools around the world that trained underneath him.
Yep.
Okay. So it'd be kind of hard to be a leader without schools underneath you. I mean, I wouldn't consider a leader of modern artiste. Okay, let's say all I had was my school. I wouldn't consider myself a leader in the art. I just consider me a school owner. I'm the leader of my school, but if I only have one school and there's no one's dealing with me outside the school, is that, if I'm not shaping the community.
Well, and Robert brings up a point. I think if you're the one school but you produced 600 black belts in modern East, you would probably still be a leader in modern East.
Yeah. Well, it could be subjective. But let's say I have a school and it stays insular and they don't go out of the community. They don't open up their own locations. And as much as we say about this, it's a gray area. This is not a black and white, and this is all based on opinion. Mm-hmm. But when I hear people throw the word leaders out there, I think we got to maybe we define that a little.
But I think sometimes people get confused between a name or a celebrity or a leader, right? Those are not all the same things.
Celebrity black belts. Elvis Presley was not a leader in Parker's Kempo.
Right.
but he could have been a very big ambassador for the art, which brings up the next thing, influencers.
Wow, I was a straight man and I didn't even get paid. Where's my check?
That's in the mail. Just got to move the decimal points over a few.
Before I cash it, yeah.
I'll give you all of my Bitcoins.
There you go.
He was a huge influencer. There we go. Boom.
Yep.
So an influencer, you read my mind. An influencer is someone that could really, I mean, look at social media influencers.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that follow them on the net,
yep.
but those followers are not their troops, for lack of a better term. I was talking to Larry Thompson, who's watching tonight. He talked about people in his industry when he was working before he retired, that there was people that really had no managerial skills of people. Mm. They could not manage people, which is another part of being a leader. But they had a huge influence on the industry.
Mm.
And Elvis Presley is a perfect example of someone. So let's think about influencers. Chuck Norris was an influencer.
Mm-hmm.
Jet Li, Jackie Chan, Steven Seagal, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That Bruce guy.
Bruce
Wong or something.
Wong Lim.
There you go.
I'm
yep.
Lee. Bruce Lee.
Yep.
I mean, how many? You know, if Bruce Lee. I mean, Bruce Lee didn't have schools back. I mean, no, he did some teaching, but it's not. Jeet Kune Do blew up after he passed away.
Right.
Okay. Using a military term, I call the instructor who is laying out the groundwork for his school as being the established outside of his main is the plank of the owner, because he is the foundation of the organization the style it represents. Okay, cool.
Foundation, that's a key, yeah.
Here we go. My phone thought I said the G word. That's the Oogle word.
Right.
Master Ken could be considered you know what? Master Ken from Ameridote, Bushido, you know, or not, no, Ameridote.
Right.
I think he's a huge martial influencer in his own way.
Sure.
Paulo Rubio put a lot of people in front of his lens and he's a major influencer in our industry.
Mm-hmm.
Remy Price, our leader, was a huge influencer.
Yep.
Matter of fact, I think in many cases, when you look at the greats like Remy Price, Wally J, Danny Inosanto, people of this nature, Bobby Tabuada, you know, I know for a fact that Remy would go into a town and inspired people to get involved in Filipino martial arts. Mm-hmm. And there was no modernity schools near them, but they got into other styles. So I think in many ways, Remy was a bigger influencer than he was a leader. Not to take away from his, I mean, so I think people could be both.
Mm-hmm. And more, right? So I think Remy was also a celebrity, right? So there's those other pieces too. He's a name, he's a celebrity, he's a known quantity as far as, you know, having fought and showed really well with that.
Remy was a rock star in the martial art industry. You know, and the cool thing was he was a fighter
mm-hmm.
who became a really good teacher. He was able to motivate people to do things beyond their own skill set. Icon. Right. There we go.
Icon. Ambassador, right? And he literally was.
Remy was the GOAT. Come on.
He was, but he was ambassador for, you know, Filipino sport, martial art culture. Sorry.
And let's think about this. He was an ambassador as far as the Filipino martial arts go, right? Yep. But here's what people don't always remember or don't know. He literally was a goodwill ambassador for the Philippine government promoting their martial culture.
Yep.
The government sent him around the world to teach our niece. How? So that I think because he was a leader, he also took that leadership ability and turned it also into being an ambassador. I mean, truly, he's probably the most influential ambassador for what we do. I remember there's an article in Inside Kung Fu that Inosanto showed up to one of his seminars and he was saying, you need to get involved in Filipino martial arts. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, not to take away from anyone else, because that's not what I'm trying to do. Okay, several trips to Japan and elsewhere during his first. Yeah, yeah. Matter of fact, one of his daughters got a women's a sportswoman of the year award in Japan. And what do we got for Dean? Influencers, trendsetters, regardless of how many trends. That Remy did. Yep, Remy did. So I think when we look at things, when we look at people, we got to look at them a couple different ways. And you know what? We have to add the third one, the celebrity. That wasn't in the discussion, but it's perfect. No, because you definitely have martial arts celebrities. You know, I mean, Elvis Presley was a celebrity martial artist. There's no question about that. And Jeff Speakman, who I've been on the floor with him on multiple occasions. Okay, and he can bang. My ribs will tell you he can hit. But the thing here is, because of his movie, you know, he was a great, in many ways, he was a great ambassador, because when he did Perfect Weapon and he beat the crap out of the couch with sticks, I got students because they saw him do it. Oh, I want to do that stick stuff.
Yep.
Well, you don't want to do that stick stuff because that stick stuff's crap. But you want to learn good. That's how we met John. John McClane. It's exactly how John got involved. He did some Kempo and he saw the sticks. He goes, I want to do that. And now we can't get rid of him. But yeah. So this show is not about labeling who's whom, because we're not going to talk about that. You know, but I'm going to use a perfect example of someone who's both. Kelly Warden. Kelly Warden has got a reputation in the knife world. He's got a reputation. He is bigger than the art. He's definitely his persona is a very big. He's a huge personality, and I think he influenced a lot of people, as well as leading his own clan, his own tribe. But okay, let's see here. Remy was a phenomenal influencer. He influenced so many to teach and open schools. His management skills were not as great, but he still led people. He was more than a leader than he was an instructor. Okay. More of a leader of instructors. Yep. Sounds like Remy was all three: leader, influencer, ambassador.
And celebrity and
user. I say ambassador and influencer kind of being the same,
right?
But definitely celebrity. You know. Listen, Remy was the guy. I mean,
and people person.
Well, hey, let's talk about. Hey, Dean, let's talk about you, Dean. Right now, you're an influencer.
Yep.
Okay. I know when I was running Marshal Talk at FMA Talk, I was a huge influencer for social media, promoting the Filipino martial arts there. People would constantly reach out to me and go, I live here. Do you know any schools in the area? I was constantly putting people in touch with each other. I wasn't teaching them, but I also gave the platforms for people to speak. Just like we're having, I've done so much, and I hate saying it this way. I've done a lot for the community that people don't realize, and this show is that next evolution. If you weren't around during the discussion boards, Ty didn't you have a discussion group of your own?
Yeah, I ran the International Kung Fu mailing list, and I provided a platform. I wasn't really being as a leader, but I provided a platform and made sure that everything stayed on track. And so a lot of people knew me, but only because I made that opportunity. Other than that, I was a nobody, which is fine.
And then we were all part of who did a Scream and Digest?
Ray Terry.
Ray Terry was an influencer because he helped that. Bob Hubbard helped. Okay, so Bob Hubbard was the one that created Marshal Talk. He did it before it crashed because he didn't have a network of people. I told him, "You build it, I'll populate it," and it became one of the. It was always in the top 5 largest martial art discussion groups of its kind on the internet. And then we spun off Kempo Talk. We spun off FMA Talk.
And you populated it. You did populated it not with just your made up accounts, right?
No. I didn't have. No. Those people kept getting banned.
I'm teasing because you know how that sometimes pollutes things.
Personality they had.
Yep. People will be people.
Yep. Hey, I wouldn't have minded if it was an admin account, something to
Sure. Yeah.
pull up. Yes, Bob did Bob did Kempo Talk.
And there was all sorts of times at the time. That's how people did things. Either discussion groups, like there was the Tweety group. There was all sorts of them. Really good. And then there was the Usenet.
Bot generators, Tim.
So anybody remembers Usenet? We had a lot of Marshal forums there too, and starting with just the generic one.
No, I had a bunch of people locally who didn't have the balls to say stuff to people's face, so they had all these dummy accounts. And then when they got caught, they cried foul. We need to set something up like that again. We can't. And I'll tell you why. The talks won't work. The talks are still out there, actually.
They are. In fact, my Kung Fu mail list is still out there. I get like 2 posts a year now.
And it just people don't want to do it anymore.
No, they got the online things. You got the GUI interface. You got pictures and movies and things you can attach. It's way different than mailing lists.
Facebook crushed it. And the thing here too is the like, okay, what we would do is I forgot the platform that we were using. The bulletin boards.
Was it V Bulletin or was it?
I was V Bulletin, but I think I changed to something else afterwards. But
yeah, PHPB probably.
It just couldn't keep up with the technology. It was behind. With push notification. We played with the idea of we integrated it with Facebook, IRC.
Heck, we even used to use IRC. That's the Internet Relay Chat. We used to use Delphi Forums even, which is sort of like a BBS version of Facebook before there was Facebook.
Yeah, I know we had V bulletins for a while,
right?
And we did a Facebook app, and then we did this experiment. Every time I updated what I was doing, it made a post, and people started crying foul. And I go, guys, read this. What did I just say? We're experimenting to see if we can integrate with Facebook. Well, we don't like to. I know. Stop it. Stop being an idiot.
Trying to bridge the gap. Yeah.
Hey, Darren, how you doing?
And we saw him at the immersion first episode.
Yep. Hey, Darren, did you get all 3 videos today? I spaced them out when I sent them to people. Also, if you attended the seminar this weekend, if you go to the calendar notification, you can download it from the calendar. If you got Gmail, you can download the videos directly from that. So, I think the thing here is that a lot of people get confused on where you're. Okay, good. I'm glad you got that, Darren. Cool. Remy, in his case, he was everything.
Yep.
I mean,
and the only reason to bring that up, right, because it spans kind of the spectrum of all this of the topic of the day, basically.
Yeah, and we're not trying to, and like I said, listen, we need all of it.
Yep.
We need all of it.
Absolutely.
Let's put it this way: if this was all that Ty and I was doing, that we weren't teaching seminars, and this is, okay, listen, let's go back to Dean Franco. Our brother Dean. We love Brother Dean. Okay? If Brother Dean wasn't teaching Filipino martial arts, he wasn't teaching any martial arts, but he was still providing that platform to promote FMA Filipino martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
He's a huge influencer. He's given so many people opportunities. Dean, how many episodes are you up to right now? It's going to take a moment because there's a little delay. But I mean, but Dean's also teaching Filipino martial arts. See, a lot of people forget about that. That's why we've got him coming up to Buffalo in March. And he's going to be teaching at Terry Dow's in New Hampshire. So, Kara, if you're watching, you want to be there. 243 episodes.
Nice. That's amazing.
There we go. That
might have a little influence.
And the shows have at least, I think they're anywhere from 100 to 500 views per episode.
That's amazing for how long they are. That's a lot of material.
Oh my God! His shows, our shows are as long as his shows. And
that's a lot of history, though. That for future folks.
I was talking today about this, and actually, here's how Dean and I actually met virtually. We still haven't met face to face in person, just through this. And like, I talked to him today, and I hey, how did we meet? You remember? Oh, Kara. Yep. I love Dean's interview. So are you going to go to Terry's then with us? because I'm going to be there and Dean's going to be there. And Ty, are you going to be at Terry's?
That's the plan. Yep.
So do you want to come up? You're not going to that other event, are you?
Well, I can't do both. Yeah.
You got to pick one or the other.
Yep.
And Dean's teaching debut at Terry's. Come on, and he's going to do interviews, from what I understand. So,
that'll be a good group to pull from him there. For him,
well,
there.
we're going to try to put Bill in front of his wedding anniversary.
Oh,
I thought you were looking at another event that was not your wedding anniversary.
you can't do 3 things at once.
You got to clone yourself. What was the one with Keating where he kept cloning himself? Oh, here we go. Here's a big one. You better read this one because
I'll read that one. Yeah, it's from Larry out in Colorado. Some of this is a matter of semantics, he says, but from a functional perspective, we need more people who are quality teachers, and we need people who can attract new blood to the sport. A given person could be both, but they don't have to be. Great teachers may not always be great marketers. Likewise, great marketers may not have the same depth as a great teacher. We need both skills, in his opinion. And I agree totally. Larry's like smart along these things.
Well, okay. Well, Larry is a retired businessman who owned his own business.
Yep.
And, the interview is up there as well. Yep. And,
ooh, ouch.
Bummer.
Hopefully that's just a hassle and nothing else. So anyway, feel better.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is talk about ambassadors. I got to put my glasses back on.
Well, I was trying to do some of that because remember my goal was to get out there and play with all the modern Arnis people that have me to support the students and the star. That's what I still try to do.
Till they became pain in the asses, but that's besides the point. Oh, did I say something? Where's that ventriloquist dog of mine?
There you go. That was the dog, yeah.
Okay, so here we go. You want a good one? As an ambassador? So, here we go. I've got things behind me making noises. Boom.
There you go.
So for those who don't know, that's William Dafoe. Hold on.
Nice.
Sorry, Ryan.
Ryan will appreciate that.
This is Ryan Monolopoulos. This is my black belt. He's 30 years old now. He's one of our Punong Gurus. He started with me when he was 4 years old.
26 years with you.
Ever since.
Yep.
I've known him almost as long as he's been alive. And he was just in Buffalo last week. What's he doing with William Dafoe? He was a stunt double for the latest Spider-Man movie. What was that called again? No Way Home?
No Way Home, yep. It was good.
He does other work. Oh, that's his girlfriend. We don't want to look at that.
He's a real person, okay? Yeah, there you go.
He's got a cute girlfriend, so we get jealous. Yep. But let's see if I can find... He's doing things in front of and behind the camera.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So how many people do both? He is our celebrity in our industry right now.
Well, and you mentioned that his modernist skills made some note in some circumstances.
So we're going to have him on the show. I can't find the dang post. Okay, so I'm going to have to go elsewhere. So he was trying out for the show. And there he is with one of our PGs, him and Craig competing at Mr. Wolf's.
They both look like psychos.
Well, they both are. So
there you go.
Looks are not deceiving here. It's exactly what you think they are.
It's the lighting.
It's the lighting, yeah. They got that Charlie Manson look.
There you go.
So, I'm waiting for this to... Oh, I didn't want that. So, I'm just waiting for this to go. Ryan was trying out for a whole bunch of shows down there. So, what he started crushing it, because all of a sudden they would say, hey, if anyone has any extra skills they would like to demonstrate, by all means, let us know. And then Ryan's like, well, challenge accepted. And he gets his sticks and starts doing our carenzas and stuff of that nature. I wonder if he took that down.
Hmm.
I actually had footage of him doing the stunt work, or filming the glider on,
Nice.
but it's disappeared. So I wonder if he had to take it down. But Ryan is down there. There's a whole bunch of all these different people trying out for the part. A lot of JKD, huge amount of JKD. And he started beating people out all the way back in the second Captain America movie.
Hmm.
So he's been in a bunch of Marvel. Some of it was just like background stuff, but you got to get your foot in one way, So he wasn't credited, but he's got the pay stub, which is all that matters.
And the experience.
Yeah, well, there you go. Okay. I do not know. I have a feeling that this was taken down. But he started beating out the guys, and even to the point where all the JKD guys were like, he's wearing the Price's Sarnice shirt. Like, hey, what's this Price's Sarnice stuff? And he started a program called OCC, on camera combatives. And I was doing fight choreography while he was in school, and then in the independent scene, and then I was talking about putting something together, a program for it, blah blah blah. And then I said, and then all of a sudden he started doing this. I'm like, you know what? It would be much, much better, since he's working in the industry, is if he designed it and did it himself. And we talked about it, and that's when I actually helped with the development of the name and stuff like that. I have a feeling he has taken this down, and he had to take this down.
Could be.
Yeah, because maybe he wasn't supposed to put the machine working, because he had the glider up there. I'll have to reach out to him and find out what happened to that. But he's a perfect example of an ambassador who has been crushing it, promoting Filipino martial arts, specifically our Price's brand. And why do we say Price's? Because we talk about Remy and Ernesto and Roberto. We're inclusion of the entire family. So, but he's a good example of a modern artista. I mean, here's another one. Here's a huge one who in the modernist world, Roland Dantes, Mr. Philippines, an Olympic, or he was a world-class bodybuilder, got into acting, got into politics, and if it wasn't for his efforts that he did before he passed away, Filipino martial arts may not have made it as the national sport of the Philippines or got in the SEA Games. There's all this stuff. Now, I remember Remy had shown me Olympic letters for the Olympics back in the 80s, and nothing came about it. There's always this Olympic committee and that Olympic, and it's all bullshit. It's not going to happen in our lifetime. That being said, I think it's a noble goal to push for. People said, I heard you're trying to get involved with this. I go, no, someone talked about it, and I said I'd be part of it to help. And they, well, what are your thoughts? I go, I don't think it's ever going to be done in our lifetime. The way for this to happen would be that the Philippines would have to host the Olympics and do as an exhibition sport. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. They're not going to put it in a country that really could use it. And there's just too much stuff going on. It doesn't fit their image. Although they did put it in Brazil, which shocked me with the amount of crime that's down there. I'm surprised they put that there, but nonetheless, there's just too much. The Philippines is beautiful, but I don't think they have also facilities that could house all those different. There's so many islands; they'd be probably all over the place. And logistically speaking, that would be very hard. But it is what it is. Hold on a second here. Okay. So, but he, I mean, he's, you got Roland Dantes. Ryan is becoming a very good ambassador for what we do, because he's getting our niece, he with working both sides of the camera, he's getting our niece in there. He's done choreography. Let me see what we got here. Did the movie Dune actually use FMA? So I just got access to HBO Max only to find out that Dune's no longer on there.
Nope. Yeah, they cut it off. But yeah,
everyone's saying it was Balintawak.
Yeah, you can see it in a few of the sequences.
Here we go. So assistant who was the fight coordinator for Buy Bust. I have no clue what that. There we go. He was Taekwondo practitioner as well as a screamer. He's done some stuff for Hawaii 5-0 and a coordinator for the movie The Bladed. Okay, Bladed. We're always open to things. Although I don't know how diverse we want this show to be. We kind of focus on modern arnis and related arts, but we definitely will deviate from there. Who knows? The nice thing is I know how to do graphics. I can take modern arnis from the Marshal Talk Chronicles up here. FMA Talk Chronicles. Film movies that also influence the FMA. Okay. Cool. So I think when we look at people in the arts, I mean, we had celebrities. We had people who had celebrity status in the arts. We had people who had celebrity status in the martial arts. And I mean, Remy had, I mean, he was, he was the rock star. He had all three, but I think Remy ultimately was more of an influencer than anything else. Not to take away from his leadership abilities and like Danny Inosanto, another good example. He is a huge influencer. There's a lot of people that were inspired people to get into different things. The Gracies. Or Wally J did influence people to do stand-up grappling. The Gracie brothers inspired people to do ground grappling, whether it be Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Sambo or wrestling or whatnot. I mean, hell, the UFC was their infomercial.
Well, it's interesting. All three of those, there's a common thread. All three, Remy, Wally J, the Gracies, had there's a similarity there where there are a lot of long-time established martial artists also wanted to do their three things, which is not normal, right? So if you're a Taekwondo guy and then a karate guy comes into the town, it's really, it's pretty rare that you're going to start taking up karate even while you're doing your Taekwondo, right? It's fairly rare. However, Remy got teachers, instructors to do that. And so did Wally J and to a large extent the Gracies, although they also got the untrained folks as well.
Yeah. So Bill Remy was and still is a legend of the FMA. Mm-hmm. Well, okay, I'm going to go one step further, and of course I am biased when I say it. He's the legend. He's the GOAT, greatest of all time. I mean, I'm going to, people can sit there and say, oh, what about Anshon? What about this guy? What about Angel? What about all these other people? And I don't want to take anything about their martial ability. But when you look at all the things that Remy did, Remy actually could do the art. He fought the art. He taught the art. He spread the art. Mm-hmm. Angel Cabales Serrata didn't get popular until, I don't know, Inosanto did it. Mm-hmm. And really, if you look at Serrata, it's primarily in the States, just the Bay Area. You will find actually, if you find it elsewhere, it's funny because Dean and I were talking about it today. So, well, what about the Tony DeSaro? And he's like, but he's a Bruce Chutnut guy. He'll tell you, I do Serrata, but I mean, his Kyoshu his Kempo is like the top stuff he does. Mm. And he's really good at Serrata, mm-hmm. and he'll tell you like, oh yeah, I play with it. I'm like, no, you do more than play with it. You train it really good. But here's the guy who doesn't even he doesn't even push it that much in the big scheme of the things.
Mm.
And when you see him doing seminars, it's mostly for his Kempo, not his FMA. And if you're going to see it on the East Coast, it's probably all the people that trained, their lineage somehow goes through Bruce Jutnik.
Well, I'm going to throw the hat tip out there because I totally agree about Tony. In fact, I'll tell people if you get a chance to train with Tony, you should.
And you will in March when you come to the Can-Am Border event.
There you go. That's right. I forgot about that. Wow, we should have planned that.
Hey, I'm very opportunistic with this conversation, so I'll take.
That works. You're influencing it.
It could be. I could be a major influencer. There you go. So, like I said, when we talk about people in the industry, what are they doing? Do they have that following?
Are they producing students who are also producing students, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah.
Is that so? That's one of the things that when people talk about notables, that kind of bothers me sometimes. I think what we need is FMA is the spread, and to spread you have to get the word out. That's good. You got to get people trained. That's good. You got to get people trained to be able to teach and actually actively doing so. You got to be part of some of all of those. And exposure is also good, right? That's that almost celebrity piece.
Okay. So, so if you're writing articles and books and stuff of that nature, where would you put that in the big scheme of things?
Well, that's getting some word out.
That'd be an influencer, right?
Yeah, at least, or maybe yeah. So you want to count chronicling, or getting the word out. That would be influence. If that's where it falls, then yeah, sure.
Let's see. Here we go. Even with our falling out, I've always tell people Remy was the greatest or most well-known martial artist.
That wasn't in the movies.
Yeah, that knowingly was in the movie because he stood in for he body doubled during Pacific Connection, but never got real credit for that. Yep. Take the movies away from many of the big names, and no one would ever heard about them. Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, Jeet Kune Do has nothing to do with Bruce Lee. It's all about Enter the Dragon. Listen, if it wasn't for Enter the Dragon, his popularity happened after he died. He was making waves and doing things, but it was really his movie career that pushed his martial arts.
Right.
And I don't want to take anything away from the guy. I mean, I was a Bruce Lee fanboy when I was growing up, and I'm still closeted fanboy when it comes to, No, I listen, but I look at him differently than I did before. And he was ahead of his time when it came to cross training. Mm-hmm. But it annoys me when people talk about, well, he developed the 5 concepts of fighting. No, he didn't. That's fencing. He took fencing. He took the rules. Single direct attack by combination, attack by drawing. Those are fencing concepts. Fencing didn't get it from Bruce. Bruce got it from fencing. What he did was openly cross-train, put it together, and gave it credit where a lot of other people weren't doing that at the time. That's all.
Well, even that counts as an influencer or an even leader if you're producing things. But it's funny. There's nothing really new under the sun, right? When people say that the cross-training thing, that's happened for gazillion years. Heck, my style of Kung Fu Mantis. Mantis is 18 styles combined.
There we go.
That's the definition of cross-training right there.
There you go.
But, getting the word out and making it popular and that kind of stuff, that's what I think we're talking about.
Yeah, so that would be a good influencer.
Yep.
So who used to write? Used to write for Remy back in the day. He's one of Bobby's guys too. He showed up to the birthday camp. He was grappling with people.
I can picture him.
Yeah. Can never remember his name when I need to. But he started as a Remy guy, ended up with Bobby. Did some week half. Rick Mitchell?
Rick, yeah. Yep.
Rick Mitchell.
Yep.
Rick Mitchell was an influencer because he was writing these articles
about
Remy. Now, they were about Remy, but Remy didn't do the work. Rick did the work.
Right. One of my favorite articles, even though it got chopped down.
So that was tied together. Paul O'Grady wrote that article, Modernista's Next Generation.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah.
That was one that was like
right. Got chopped down.
But no, Rick Mitchell used to write a bunch of the early articles for Remy.
Okay.
Back in the 80s and stuff, and Rick did a lot. He did great. Okay, first of all, Remy was the subject matter, but Rick was the writer, and he had a doorway in to get things published. Huge influencer.
Yep, good stuff.
You can say the same thing about Anderson about his books. He's influencing people by writing the books. Okay, but if we're talking about spreading the art and being a leader of the art, that's a different thing. I think to spread the art, you need to have that tribe. You're doing a lot. Let's talk about. We keep going back, and we got to do the part 2 of you coming up.
Right.
But the fall and spring fling. How many people did you open the door for? How many instructors did you have at the fall fling?
10 or 12, something like that.
10 or 12 people from different arts come together.
And that's twice a year.
Twice a year, and different people coming and going. We get new people coming in all the time.
It's just a slow rotation. Yeah.
So, and all you do, okay, so all he does, okay, guys, you're down in the Fairfax area, spring and fall, look for the fling. There's like a $10 donation, because that goes for the rental of the facility and the food that he brings and feeds people. It's a meat fest.
Yeah, that sounds funny.
Listen, and if you don't like meat, you know what? You're still paying you're contributing money for the rental of the facility. And
this last time I gave everyone a free training knife.
Yes, mine's downstairs. Actually, no, mine's at the school at the check-in area, so Janice can stab people.
Okay. Well, it does have the plastic point, could still be used to hurt somebody.
That's right. That's why she's going to stab people with
it. There you go.
So, and then we had a donation from, look, your sponsor was also my sponsor. Vulpes Training Blades donated a $100 gift certificate.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That
was awesome.
So, and how many of these have you done so far?
Let's see, 7 of the spring ones and 3, I think, of the fall ones.
So you've done at least 10 events.
Yep.
Plus you did the virtual one, or is that including the virtual one?
That's included, yeah.
So 10 events, giving people opportunity to be seen. You've had Serrata, you've had
Alice Illustrissimo, Balintuak, Modern, Combaton,
Pikiti Tertia, multiple branches of Pikiti Tertia.
Right.
Kuntao in the past.
Yep, Kuntao. Sonny Umpad's kind of one of Sonny Umpad's persons that trained with him.
Yeah. So there's been a whole bunch of diversity down there, and you're an influencer in that area, an ambassador.
Just providing a venue, and what I enjoy is that interaction, because again,
they're amazing.
There you go.
And
then, I guess that counts as influence. I'm not trying to influence anything. I'm just trying to get people to do cool things.
I look at the body of work, and I think even though I run an organization, I'm probably more of an influencer than I am. Not that I'm not a leader in an organization, but I think because of the other things that we've done, giving people opportunities and stuff like that, we've definitely influenced the industry in a positive way. Just at our events. How many people have you seen teach at our events from outside the art?
Oh, lots, yeah. Which I think is great. I think it only helps us, and it helps the art and the perception of it, right? Because people from the outside that sort of would not have seen committed modernist people doing things kind of open their eyes a lot of times.
Yeah. Well, here's a good one. Who's welcome at Pikiti Tertia camps?
Well, we are, which is pretty cool.
And do you think modern Arnese people of a whole have that good reputation of being welcome in places like that?
Well, some of them don't get out, but in general, who was it? I saw something, read recently where it was doubling down on the idea that for people that haven't really seen committed people training modern East, there's a less than impressive reputation sometimes.
So I'm going to translate. Most modern East people suck. Or that's the impression out there, because
from a FMAist's point of view, from their eyes, yes.
So what Remy did, okay, it doesn't matter what his mindset was. I'm going to talk about what he did, and correct me if I'm wrong on this one, because what Remy did was, instead of teaching people how to do FMA as a standalone program, he did the art within your art for the masses, and he taught people how to enhance their base system without compromising the integrity of said system, using Filipino concepts.
Make them a better martial artist overall, and expose them to his culture.
A better martial artist using Filipino concepts attached to that base system, which means they really never were doing FMA. They were doing FMA concepts. So, and actually, here's the thing. A lot of the Filipino martial artists do that. They sit there and say, oh, like if you look at a bunch of FMA guys, their open hand combatives are from something else. So, because one of the things we're going to talk about is a complete system. Well, actually, a standalone system versus a complete fighter. Because I don't think people understand, you don't have to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to be to have a standalone program.
Right.
But if you want to have a complete fighter, now that's another topic.
Right.
What are we doing? Is your system, and most FMA that I see out there is not a complete system. They're missing the open hand combatives. And a lot of times what they do is they encourage you to go train elsewhere when you do boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I find it very big in that backyard culture or that club mindset that not many systems are teaching punching and kicking, or grappling. Oh, here we go. My mouse is
okay. Well, read what he said. Oh, there. I've seen more than modern East guys show up at different seminars and events than other FMA groups. That's a fact, and I'm not a modern East guy. That's Renee. Thanks, Renee. Yeah. Is
it okay? Those modern East people, is it people other than Craig and myself and our crew? Because we were a little different inside of that. I mean, Ty. I think Ty's is okay. Well, let's finish the thought here. If all Remy was trying to do was make someone a better martial artist, he's not trying to forge them into Filipino martial artists. Dan Lohman and I talked about this in Finland when we were over at the super camp, and it's like, and a person's name came up, and it's like, yeah, okay, here we go. What's this? Screamador. Okay, for the most part, Remy never claimed to make anyone a Screamador. He was all about self-defense and enhancing their current art. And
introducing FMA. Yeah, that's a good comment.
Perfect, Rocky. This is why we need to have you on the show. So, and your witty repartee. Yes, you guys tend to do more open-minded. You even came to my Krabi to the Krabi seminar. Yeah, I loved that. Was with Arlen Sanford. I had a blast. He's a great guy, by the way. May de Leon, Datu Shear and his brother Dada are also leaders and influencers. We're not. Yep. No. Yep. There's a lot of people that we're not naming names today per se.
Right.
We're just using Remy as the example because, here's the thing. If I was to sit there and say Dan Anderson is an influencer, not a leader, because he just has one school, someone's going to cry foul. If I sit there and say Brian Zawolinsky, who has a home study group, is an influencer because he puts on seminars, brings people in. He's hosted events that Dieter's come over, Dan, Bram. To me, he's a facilitator. He's not leading a bunch of people. He's giving a bunch of opportunities for people in a region to be exposed to modern East players. What do you think about how's that, Ty?
That's what he's doing. What do you want to call it?
I wouldn't put it in a leading capability because he doesn't have schools underneath him per se. I mean, he does seminars at George's Clint's down in Harrisburg once a year or something, and he might do 1 or 2 seminars a year off site, but he's not there developing schools around the country or the state or the world. But he is giving people an opportunity to see people like I said, he's hosted. I mean, he's had you and he's had Chad. He's had Rich and myself. He's had other people at his place. So,
yep.
as a host, that becomes an influencer, an ambassador.
Yeah, no, definitely, he's those things. Doing that, those things are good. Yeah, I think sometimes people, and I'll go ahead. I mean, and not just for anybody in general. Sometimes there's also the confusion about leader as being associated with rank, right? That's sort of a different path than what you were talking about here.
Yeah,
I think.
Well, it's funny. The Danish Taekwondo Association, one time their president was a yellow belt.
Sure.
Yeah, and then when the Koreans came over, they're all freaking out like, well, what's this yellow belt being the president? He should be a high ranking. No, this guy knows how to run things and get you paid. If you take the highest rank guy, he has no business skills and you wouldn't get paid. Oh, let's keep the yellow belt in charge.
Right.
So, and there, there's a lot of leaders, there's a lot of influencers, and there's a bunch of people who are both. Mm-hmm. And, well, actually, there's leaders, there's influencers, there's celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
In modern Arnis, I don't think we have all three at the moment in one person. I think you're going to see people who are heavy on the leadership side, others on the influencer side. I'm hoping Ryan becomes a celebrity. Yeah, well, I mean, he's doing Marvel movies, a bunch of Walking Dead. Mm-hmm. He's producing his own stuff. I mean, the stuff he's doing is crazy. He's going back to Bulgaria. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what he's doing? He's those masterclass series. Mm. He's filming all that stuff in Bulgaria.
Nice.
And I'm like, dude, what about me? I can do a master. Goes, oh, it's business stuff. Well, it's the business of martial arts. Stop it. Nice. I'm like,
nice.
I gotta bust his chops whenever I can,
Well, I mean, we had a celebrity in the old days with Remy as well, right? Dean Stockwell was a celebrity, and some people knew modern because of that.
Dean Stockwell, Roland Dantes.
Right.
2 huge celebrities.
Yep.
Not to be confused with celebrity black belts, but that's a different story. But, we're not going to go down that path. But, I mean, a celebrity black belt would be someone like Elvis Presley. Mm-hmm. Or maybe somebody who was if Remy was still alive and the hookup and Manny Pacquiao kind of popped in, I wouldn't be surprised if it was, I will promote you to black belt because you are, and he would be an example of a celebrity black belt. Like, sure. Listen, I know that. So it hasn't happened. I guess there was an opportunity that I didn't know about, but I because of who I was, someone was going to offer me a 5th degree black belt in their system. When I first started, I worked my way up in the system. That's all I'm going to say. But I told my instructor at the time, go, hey, listen, if that ever happens, where somebody offers me rank, I would probably take it because of the situation, because I don't want to embarrass people and stuff like that and say no, but my rank is what it is with you. And afterwards say, well, actually, the protocol is that you were eligible to become a 5th degree black belt. I go, but I was only a white belt. So yeah, but you would have been a black belt, a grandmaster when you came in the organization. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I wouldn't have liked that. I go, yeah. And I told the instructor not to do it. And they go, no, we should do it. And then afterwards, he goes, the head of the system said, you're right. I'm glad that we made Tim come up the long way because he probably would have quit.
Mm-hmm.
So, someone's okay. So K71, I've got, I don't know if it's watching the show. One of the guys from Florida just messaged me about the stick bags. Nothing. Okay, when it comes to stick bags, we have to go to the Philippines and pick them up in person. So nothing's coming over. Not for those super bags that we have.
Right.
So let me see here. What did Renee say? Craig Mason making movies as well. Check out his fan rolling. Actually, Craig did a cameo in a movie. He cleaned up afterwards. No. He did some kind of driving thing. Supposed to be on IMDb. Actually, if you look, I'm on IMDb. If you look up Tim Datu Hartman, because there's a bunch of Tim Hartmans, I said, all right, I'll make Datu as my middle name. I've got like 5 or 6 creds. Remember, if you read them, one of them. So they've renamed the movie, thank God. It was called it last minute. So it literally was called Black Guy on a Rampage. Because it was about a black guy on the rampage out for revenge. Because they did this toxic Avenger type things. And one guy survived and he was white. So I said, like, hey, the sequel's got to be Cracker Strikes Back or Cue Ball's Revenge. But I think they just renamed it to Rampage, which I'm glad they did. I'm in the Microsoft store, and when they used to have them, and a couple of guys there are people of color, and we're all friends and stuff like that. And the guys know me, hey, Tim, what's up? And I go, yeah. And it came up about movies, and I go, yeah, I did Black Guy on a Rampage. And the one guy's looking at me. I'm like, no, wait, here. Boom, there it is, because they got computers everywhere.
Right.
You ain't shitting. No. You think I would tell 2 brothers who are twice the size of me that I did a movie Black Guy on a Rampage? Do you think I'm that stupid? Come on. I'm like, oh, my God. Who are these knuckleheads? And Alexander McBride was the star. Phenomenal actor. And he was able to, I got called in at the last minute to do a fight scene on the set. He did kip-ups and everything I wanted him to do. It was a long-ass day. And unfortunately, it turned into it was funny. I fast forward to the fight scenes. It was like, I'm like, what the hell? And then I watched the whole movie afterwards. I was like, oh, it's a slasher style, like a machete and all this other stuff. And the director, I told the director this, I go, you just watch your fight scene first? Yeah. It's my fight scene. I choreographed it. I wanted to see it. It was my first one.
Right.
But, yeah, so all right. I think I don't know. I'm pretty good with this. Do you have anything else you think we need to cover on this?
I don't know. I think we need all of these. That's the key takeaway.
They're all very important. We need the celebrities to attract people to the art by their names. We need the ambassadors out there in the field helping spread the art and spreading goodwill between other systems, both Filipino and non-Filipino. And we need the leaders and the instructors to teach the masses that come through the door. And if someone has multiple more than one of those qualities, that's even better.
But I mean, the only other thing I was going to say is sort of a pseudo rant.
Okay.
If you want to indulge me, and that was the idea that a lot of times people will talk about notables, right? They'll talk about notables, and they'll be very imprecise with their language, and they might even talk about a list of notables. So when you say that rather than some of the notables, you've set up something very general which is not very precise language, and also has some huge implications as far as what people will read into it. What are they notable for? Right? Is it one of these 3 things? Is it something different? To what extent? And what about other people? Is that all of the notables or some of the notables?
So maybe somebody is talking about a list of notables and maybe included more to maybe get more people on their side or include their friends, but then they left others out, whether they didn't know about them or maybe even on purpose.
Could be, because you don't know what you don't know. Everybody has that weakness. Everybody. You, me, everybody. Don't know what we don't know.
And once again, how did I? Oh, I think I sidestepped it. How I got on FMA discussion. I reached out to Dean and asked him, "Hey, are these shows available on a streaming platform for podcasts? Because I'm in my car a lot. I want to listen. I don't want the video on because the bandwidth and all this other stuff. And I don't think when I first did it, I had unlimited data on my phones." He goes, no. And then he asked me to be part of this. And I like listening to him because, well, case in point, I listen to, oh, I know what's going on. My mouse is dying. It's got the red little light of death going on.
No battery.
That's why. Yeah. Well, I got a mouse pad. So I go, listen, I like listening to all of them because I want to hear what these guys say. Because one of the things I try to pride myself on is being one of our historians. And I remember Brian Z was on with Chad Bailey, and they talked about the first camp being in West Virginia. I'm like, no, it was in Virginia. I got that wrong. It was West Virginia. Okay. But they got the year wrong. It was 83, the year I graduated in high school. And it was only a one-time camp. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that was with it. It was like, no, I want to listen to everybody because I need to find the information. I need to fact check it. I need to find out where they're wrong, where I'm wrong, and merge everything together.
Mm-hmm.
Or not necessarily wrong. They don't have all this information. Case in point. Remy had no written curriculum for black belt. Well, anyone who went to camp attested at a camp that had a written test, you had curriculum. Now, if you were waiting for someone to do the work for you and break it down belt for belt, you're right, that didn't, and you were lazy, and that's why you lost out.
Didn't do the work?
Your students lost out because you didn't do the work.
Right.
I was lucky. I was in a school that Remy was a silent partner in, and we had a written curriculum from the get-go, and I've evolved it, and I keep evolving it, and you guys keep busting my chops because I evolve it. Actually, your guys are going to do the next approach to that to look at it from a new set of eyes. But yeah, I mean, when we talk about things, okay, if we're going to talk to people and say who's a leader, who's not, because that's not what the show's about.
Right.
But okay, you know what the show's about? The show's so you can ask people their opinion. So when I was talking to this guy the other day,
where does somebody fit? Where do they fit?
What I didn't ask, and I wanted to, but there was another conversation going on, and I'm going to call the person back up and go. And it's like, hey, you said that you consider me one of the leaders, and he kept talking about it in circles and circles and circles. Actually found the ad. It was 83, Rocky. I have the ad. Because Remy only did one camp there. Then the year after, those other guys did it, and then Remy freaked out. But this show is about asking. Okay, so I was talking to that guy the other day, or the other week. We talked about who was on the show, or no, who's a leader in the art. And I said, I didn't ask because it seemed weird the way he was talking to me about this. And I really consider you one of the leaders of the art. And we talked about other things. And I made some comments about, people, I've been pissing people off with the things I'm saying. Well, if you're one of the leaders of that, and I really do consider you a leader of the art, why are you saying stuff to piss people off? I'm like, I'm not saying stuff to piss people off. I'm saying stuff that does piss people off. Well, what's the difference? Well, when someone says black belt testing didn't happen outside of camp, that's wrong. The person's talking, and Rich will talk about this. Said, "Oh, tests never happen." And we on the show, we had Ed Kwan who made the comment that tests were only done in Michigan. I'm like, no, they were at the Texas camp that you attended, but that was a long time ago, and there was a lot of things going on in his life, and maybe he didn't test, maybe he wasn't the day of testing. Who knows what's going on, But tests happen a lot of different places, a lot of different things. And pissing people off actually makes them think.
It can.
It can. If they're intelligent and they're not very, if they're intelligent. Okay. So this show is about looking at people, seeing what they're doing, and seeing where they fit in things. Because it's not about, once again, I know what Ty knows what sparked me for this conversation, and I know what he's talking about at the moment, and they're two different things, but it's all about the same thing. And if we're talking about notables, and it's about inclusion versus trying to include everybody that you like versus talking about the facts, that's one thing. If we're talking about leaders of the art, well, I'm training with this person because they're a leader of the art. No, they're an influencer. No, they're a celebrity. They've done a lot. This X, Y, and Z. And I think we just need to look at things through different eyes. And maybe now it's been a long day and now I'm getting silly, but who knows? I know. Yeah, and maybe that's it. And maybe I'm just getting silly. You got anything else for today?
I don't got anything. I don't got anything. So it was funny. And it's not even picking on a particular thing, but people that know me will know that one of my major, what do you call it, buttons is when people are not precise, right? You're getting lazy, and words have meaning. So let's not cut corners, and it helps to have more context than less.
If you're, I get it. If you're saying something. Sometimes we want to be specific because we don't want to be specific because we don't want to necessarily offend somebody that's in the room and say, "Hey, I'm talking about you, ass clown." So we talk.
Well, sometimes that's a private discussion, right? That's
and that
fine.
should be right.
Yep.
But yes, I am very specific about the things I say, and even with my friends, like Ty. We will talk about a topic. He knows exactly how I feel about it, but sometimes I make a point to be more specific, because it keeps me in a good habit, because sometimes I'm with people who don't know where I'm coming from. And if I'm in that habit of clarifying all the time, it's like, "Hey, Tim, no, you're preaching to the choir." Go, "Yeah, but I gotta keep this in my motor memory. Otherwise, I might make generals like, oh, these guys suck." No, they don't suck, but I'm not a big fan because of X, Y, and Z.
Or it could just be preferences, but yeah.
Or they just suck.
Usually nothing's as simple as that, but yeah.
Yeah. So next week, our topic is, I'm just double checking. We did this once before, but we're going to do it again, because I actually have to read an article. Is modern Arnis and Comaton the same? I think that's what we're going to get into next week. And then the week after that is about what is the World Modern Arnis Alliance? And then we're going to take a week off, at least 1 week off. I'll probably just do an impromptu show. Mm-hmm. That'll be the 21st, or no, the 31st. Ty's going to be heading to, or not, if not already, in Texas.
I'll be in Texas, yeah.
And then hopefully on the 7th you'll be able to join me.
I think so.
So we'll do the 7th, and then we'll be back on. So the last weekend of the last
14th weekend, I can't though. So 14th and 31st I'll be off.
Yeah. So the last weekend of January I'm in Florida. The first weekend of February I'm in I'm coming back from Virginia, Suffolk, Norfolk. So actually, hold on one moment, guys. Ty, talk about me.
Well, you're not locking up the dojo like it normally happens.
No, I'm just in the washroom.
No, and it'll be good too. I guess we're still doing a part 2 of me. I got to figure out some of the places I thought might be interesting for folks, or just fun reminiscence for me, which is fine. But if you do have something along those lines or a question, as always, add those. Send those to one of us, or on the upcoming topics, add a question. Or if you got a question that's maybe not related, we can probably work it in anyway. And I think I want to encourage that, some participation, even outside the normal times, which I appreciate here. I'm looking at all the comments on the side, and it's pretty cool. It's like hanging out with you folks, even though you're typing and we're talking.
It was crazy.
Appreciated.
We had like 20 people for like the first half hour or so.
Nice.
Which we don't usually have that many in it. I mean, we're doing 12 right now, and that's showing up. So I also have, I don't know what date we set. Craig Mason is going to be on.
Yeah.
We're going to do one on fighting. Also, we're going to start talking. We're going to try to get the people who are going to be at the anniversary camp. So here is my closing rant, and then if Ty has a closing rant, Ty will have a closing rant.
I never have rants.
So here's, if you're just doing martial arts,
I think your mic is muffled or something.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can, yeah.
If you're just doing modern arnis or any martial art for personal consumption, then it doesn't matter what I'm about to say. But for those who are worried about its future, with Ty and I are a pair of people who are worried about the art's future. Okay, it's important that we have events that promote the art. Now, I'm going to say this ahead of time. At Remy's, the 10-year anniversary of Remy's passing, I held the Modern Arnis reunion camp. And that was a springboard for many other events to happen. From there, Michael Bates started his Hall of Flame. Has been doing camps yearly down there. It let Dieter do the Best of the West camp, which then went into the Best of the East meets West camp. We've done a whole bunch of things because it all started with the reunion camp. And the reunion camp was still the biggest one in the States after Remy's passing. 80 plus attendees. And it really did a huge thing for the community because it promoted all the organizations together. Okay. But that's the last event we need as a reunion, because now what we've done, including the memorial camp was like Ty and I were there, and others, Rich and Chad and Craig and all these guys, to remember Remy. But we don't need high school reunions. We don't need a yearly or bi-yearly or every 5-year high school reunion, because the class size keeps getting smaller and smaller. We need events to grow. If we really want to impact the art, we need to bring new blood into there and promote. And this is for any system of martial arts. If you've lost your senior instructor, Angel Cabales, Remy Price, Ernesto Price, people like that, if you lost those instructors and they're no longer around, you're going to have this problem. You know, who knows what's going to happen when Guru Dan passes, Grandmaster Bobby Tabuada passes, and other arts. I mean, you know, it will continue. You know, Pikiti Tertia with Grand Tuhan Gahe, you know, and he's amazing at his age, you know. But what have arts done since their instructor has passed? Okay. Now, we need art. We need events to bring new gene pool, into new gene, to increase our gene pool, to bring new blood into what we're doing. Which is why, when we did the memorial camp, that was the last one we were planning on doing of that nature. The anniversary camp, some people say, well, aren't you doing the same thing? No, because what we're going to do is put different instructors in front of people, promoting who they are, where they're from, and hopefully putting people together. So we have much greater awareness of instructors in this and where to get training. Having a network where we can reach out and say, hey, Tim, do you have anybody in Colorado? I got one person. They're in Durango. That's Larry. Well, what about Denver? Well, let me reach out to Shelly Millspog because he's up there, or he's got people up there. Let me reach out to this person, that person. So now we're going to have a much greater network with this. And this is what this camp's about, bringing people. So if there's one event to go to for modern arnis, this is the event, because we're not just promoting the art. We're promoting the people to help increase that gene pool, because we're seriously concerned about the future generations of the art. And I put together, it's no longer my events. I am no longer going to be bringing back the old high school football player that never became much of anything. I'm talking about putting the best instructors on the floor to promote the art and taking it to its next generation. Most all are welcome. There's people who have made themselves unwelcome at my facility, and I'm pretty sure they know who they are. And if they don't, if you think you might be on that list, give us a holler. But at the end of the day, I don't care what organization you come from. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care what religion you worship. I don't care who you love. I don't care if you're wearing a law enforcement, military, or civilian colors. It does not matter to me. We need more and more people in the art, so there will be a next generation. And that's what this camp's about. And that's my rant. And we're going to be, and actually with a bunch of the shows coming up, we're going to be talking about that and putting more people. And if you look at the show, here we go. Once again, there are people that we've had on the show that are not members of my organization that I'm promoting, giving locations, times, contact information, because we need everybody out there doing their thing, whether we like each other or not, to promote Remy's art if we want it to go forward. So here we go. Let me see here. Pissing people off. Okay, so we start with Rocky. What did Rocky say here? I must be getting old. I was there the 2 weeks camps. Okay, yeah, that was that. And being brutally frank and straightforward offends a lot of people. Yeah. Sorry, that's my style. And Darren, this was a fun and engaging. Thank you so much. As a member of the New Blood group, the more I learn about Modern East, the more I'm hooked. That's what we need to hear. And the goal is unity in the family. And the family doesn't have to like each other.
A lot of families don't.
No. But if we can just give each other enough space to be their own people and not be intimidated by what they're doing, if we're all secure enough, and that's really what it boils down to. At the end of the day, if people are this, that, and the other thing, it's because they're insecure and jealous. And, at the end of the day, we got to give people props for what they're doing. And maybe we just reach out to them and ask them, how are they doing what they're doing? So, listen, I'm done with my secondary rant. Ty, you got anything?
I don't got anything. It's good to be doing this next year. That's really cool. Second year.
Second season, brother.
Yep.
All right. New look, new music, new attitude. All right, listen. As always, please stay safe. Stay sane out there. This is Datu Tim.
BG Tat.
Saying thank you for tuning in, and we'll all see you in the future.